and welcome to the very first episode of What's Going On in Manhattan. We're going to be talking about life, fashion, technology, sports, streets, movies, touristic and movie locations, world-famous museums and universities, music and arts, everything all over Manhattan. There are 170 different languages spoken in Manhattan. It's 13.4 miles long and 2.3 miles wide, and has a total land area of 22.82 miles. Its border cannot be changed as it's an island, so the city always rises up to the sky. Meanwhile, it's become the most important center for commerce, finance, art, and culture all over the world. Now, Manhattan is the center of the modern world, but do you guys know what's the center of Manhattan? What's Going On in Manhattan's first episode is Bethesda Terrace and Fountain in Central Park. It's about 6.5 miles uptown, 6.5 miles downtown, so it's the center of the city. That's why it's called Central Park. Abigail, what's going on in the universe?
Well, I'm trained as a geologist, so
Awesome.
It's just expanding outwards ever more until it hits some point, and then that's it, and we're just little blips on a small rock in the middle of the whole gigantic universe.
So, what do you think's going on in the universe?
I think a lot of things going wrong in the moment. In my opinion, I thought it's the year 2017. Everything should be better because everything's closer together. But there's strange people on the power, like Trump, like Erdogan, like Putin. So I never thought it goes this way. I thought it goes a positive way.
So that's what you feel is going on in the world as well right now? In our world itself?
I'm not sure. It's kind of scary at the moment what happens. But I think there are many people in every country who think positive, who wants to work for the good things in the world, who collaborate to do the good things, who work against these bad people.
Yeah.
What I see right now for the universe, which is something that we really need to be better at, is combating terrorism. I think terrorism affects everybody. I'm from Canada, and we're actually quite fortunate that we haven't been affected as much as the United States. Of course, we know with 9/11 and all the bombings that are going on, you know, France and England has been hit. So for me, I think that's my biggest thing that's going on in the universe is terrorism, and we need to try and stop it.
The Terrace was one of the very first structures to have been built in Central Park. Its construction began in 1859 and continued throughout the Civil War and was completed in 1863. When designing the Terrace, both Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux agreed that nature, rather than architecture, was to be of paramount importance in their plan. They proposed that the terrace would be known as the heart of the park. Bethesda Terrace is on 2 levels, united by 2 grand staircases and a lesser one that passes under Terrace Drive. They provide passage southward to the Elkan Naumburg bandshell and the mall at the center of the park. The upper terrace flanks the 72nd Street Cross Drive, and the lower terrace provides a podium for viewing the lake. The mustard olive colored carved stone is New Brunswick sandstone, with a harder stone for cappings, with granite steps and landings and herringbone paving of Roman brick laid on the edge.
Germany.
Germany. So what's going on in your country right now?
We are standing for election for new chancellor, and I think Germany is doing. Our Chancellor Merkel did a great job the last years. We have a big. It's not a problem, but it's a big thing with refugees come to Germany.
Okay.
But I think we manage it very good. There are a lot of people who need help. We have to help them, but a lot of people who try to come in our country to make crime and all these things. But Germany is on a good way.
That's great to hear. So where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Okay, what's going on in your city right now?
What's going on in my city? Good question. So I live in St. Paul, and I feel like we're really grappling with a lot of questions about what it means to be Minnesotan. We're, of course, the land of immigrants, unless you're Native American. And some of the older immigrants maybe feel that we were here first, and the newer immigrants are having a little bit of trouble. But I like to think that in general we're very welcoming and a welcoming place, and that there's room for everybody, and diversity makes us stronger.
So what's going on where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
What part?
I'm from a province called Manitoba.
Okay.
And I live in the city of Winnipeg, and just outside of Winnipeg is a little point, and it's actually the center of Canada. So I'm from the center of Canada.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
What's going on in Canada right now?
In Canada right now, what we're experiencing is extreme wildfires in one of our provinces, British Columbia, where I actually lived up until a year ago. It's on the west coast, just up from Seattle, and right now almost the entire province is on fire.
Wow.
So all across Canada, we're sending firemen and police officers to help keep the citizens of British Columbia safe. Wow. So for us in Canada, it's something that we're really struggling with, and now there's wildfires in Manitoba where I'm from, and so I think right now, so right now that's the biggest thing going on in Canada. Yeah.
Bethesda Terrace became a site for an outdoor luncheon restaurant at the end of the 1960s, then became a congregating spot for the hair generation before devolving into a drug trafficking venue in the 1970s. The fountain, which had been dry for decades, was restored in its initial campaign in 1980 and 1981 by the Central Park Conservatory as the centerpiece of its plan to renovate the entire park. Since then, very few minor changes and restorations have occurred, including the addition of ornamental poles topped by medieval banners in the vista, and the replacement of many of the older tiles located in the steps of the terrace in 2007. Today, the Bethesda Terrace is known for its spectacular views, people-watching opportunities, and frequent appearances by talented street performers. So, you've been in Manhattan for how long now?
1 week.
1 week.
Well,
So what's going on here?
it's the 4th time, and I'm here with my son. He becomes 18 next week, and it's a present for him. And we love it to be here. It's so different to the rest of the United States. We've been to California, Colorado, and I like the people here. It's so open, so different. We enjoy it. It's a great town.
That's great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It is. It's a great city. So I know you've been in Manhattan for only a day, but what do you think of it? What have you guys been up to?
Well, yesterday we walked a total of 15 kilometers, and it was amazing.
Steps?
Yeah, we have the step counter. And we walked from our hotel, which is just near Times Square, all the way down, we ground zero and did Battery Park. I love horses, as does my daughter, and the highlight for me yesterday was going to the Sable Island Gallery, where so lots of highlights, but we were actually busy gals yesterday.
Yeah,
so
it'll keep you busy.
Yeah. So we feel like we did what would you call that? The south part of Manhattan. And so now today is our north day, which is why we're here.
That's great.
Well, I'm on vacation today.
That's great. That's a great place
So
to be.
it's awesome. So I read about the history of this statue, the angel statue, and it was the first major commission for a woman sculptor in New York. So I had to come
We were just talking
check it out. I actually lived in New York for a long time, and I never came. I didn't know.
Really?
Like, I walked past this and didn't really appreciate it. So I'm happy to be on vacation and have time to appreciate it.
The pool is centered by a fountain sculpture designed by Emma Stebbins in 1868 and unveiled in 1873. Stebbins was the first woman to receive a public commission for a major work of art in New York City. Also called the Angel of Waters, John, about an angel blessing the pool of Bethesda, giving it healing powers. What's going on in the future?
I think everything will be going good. We have, when you look backwards in the history, we have up and downs and up and downs. I think the world is becoming smaller, and with all the digital things, we come closer together. And we are open-minded for everything. So I think the future is becoming very good for us all.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. That's perfect. That's all you do. What's going on in the future?
What's going on in the future? Futured it up. Like, people are going to be born, people are going to die, they're going to get married, fall in love, and we're going to go on. I am pretty, as a geologist, I'm worried about, especially water access, clean water access for everybody. That's probably the biggest. If I were to worry about something sort of geopolitically, that's really what I'd worry about, is we're really, some places have too much water right now. There's a hurricane.
Yes, that's true.
Results in Houston. But the drinkable water is really going to be sort of what's on my mind, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah. And otherwise than that, going back home tomorrow and harvesting my garden.
I think we really need to focus on our youth.
Okay.
I think that the generation that's growing up right now are so, I would call it the head down typing generation, and the head's not up. So information is so quick at their fingertips, but I think that we're losing this. We're losing the face-to-face, that sitting and visiting and actually problem solving.
Right.
And so, if two different countries can't get along in the future, are they going to just send text messages? So I think the art of communication is my biggest fear for the future, that we're actually going to lose that ability to verbally communicate and sit and have a coffee.
Bethesda Terrace in popular culture. You may have seen some of your very favorite video games right here. Mafia 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, Alone in the Dark, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, and Crisis 2. And in film, 1908 Romeo and Juliet, Godspell, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Angels in America, Ransom, One Fine Day, Stuart Little, Mr. Deeds, Elf, Cow No No Hona, The Producers, B-Movie, Enchanted, Friends with Benefits, The Avengers, Delivery Man, and John Wick. So what's going on in your life? What do you do?
I'm working as a manager for an American company in Germany.
Okay.
It makes a lot of fun. It's good, and I'm looking forward when I come home next week for my work. I'm looking forward to work with my team on the last 4 months of this year.
So you'll be spending a little more time here.
Yeah. As a police officer, I work for the federal government.
Okay.
I'm a Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer.
Well, I'm on vacation today.
Great place to
So
be.
it's awesome. So
I hope you guys liked the first episode of What's Going On in Manhattan. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and share our videos and tell us your opinion. Leave a comment. My name is Kat, and I'll see you on the next episode.